We have students and teams working on some specialized projects within a discipline. We have several involving engineering. We have some students working individually. We have students working in teams, like the One Laptop Per Child group, and like Beth and Devin, who are working together to build a radically better motorized wheelchair for different kinds of purposes. We have students working on hands-on laboratory projects in biology, and we have students working on virtual biology projects. What we tried to do was to create an environment in which the students would not feel that they were hourly laborers, but were on stipends, like academics and faculty and researchers and graduate students. We tried to bring them together every week or so for a weekly lunch. And we tried to create an environment in which they would learn from each other and end up collaborating with each other. One of the really interesting things about the work going on in the center, which is only part of what's been going on this summer, is that the students end up being consultants to each other. One of the really important lessons about this is that when you're going into unknown territory, not only does no one know how to do it, but each person has expertise in some part of the problem. And instead of beating your head against the wall and trying to do something that you don't know how to do, it's often much easier and much more satisfying to talk to someone else who doesn't understand what you're trying to do, but will have a piece of the puzzle. In the course of talking to people about how you might solve your problem, new possibilities arise, and besides, it's usually more fun and more productive to collaborate with someone than to just work on it by yourself. It's not like cramming at home for the exam. It's like working together, writing an exam, and then acing the exam. One of the things we did for these lunches is we had visiting speakers. We had a student from another university who's actually helping the university develop its own innovation center, and she was blown away by what she saw here. We had a senior patent strategist from Kodak come and talk about intellectual property and about patents and about the logic of that whole system. And this is an RIT alum who is now becoming an RIT Alumni Fellow. He also did some intellectual property searches on some of the student projects. We also had an inventor who created a geometrical toy set which actually builds all of the Platonic solids from one fundamental building block. It's the construction of three-dimensional geometry, something, of course, that's been worked on since the Greeks, but no one had quite realized that with a single folding part, you could make all of the Platonic solids. And a number of other people who could talk about different aspects of the process of innovation and invention and problem solving and intellectual property. It's been a really, really good experience for the faculty involved, for the students involved, and actually for the Institute, that I think is really being able to see that students really are capable of doing cutting-edge work enthusiastically at all hours. We had a team that worked until 3 o'clock tonight, fueled by pizza and by the impending deadline. I think for some of the students it's stressful. For some of the students it's frustrating. But I think they recognize that it's a valuable and an interesting experience. And frankly, I think that we proved this summer that the Center for Student Innovation really could be a center filled with innovating students and student innovations. We're going to build on what we did this summer and try to replicate part of the ecology we've created in the fall, winter, and spring quarters as well, maybe even including a quarterly symposium, which will allow students who are working on independent studies and other projects or who want to continue their work to continue to have an opportunity and a venue for giving progress reports and taking it to the next level. 20 students working full-time on innovation projects. And there are another 70 to 100 students around the campus who are working on their own summer research projects. And our job this summer has been to create a common environment and community and occasionally meeting place. For all of these students and their mentors to compare notes and to prepare for the Undergraduate Research and Innovation Symposium on this coming Friday, August 13th.